I just wanted to mention two things. First of all, that the BCMCA is out looking at all of Canada's Pacific waters. There's other groups doing other work outside of Canada's Pacific waters. So there's the Nature Conservancy is doing work both down in Washington and Oregon State that butts up to our work. That's an analysis that's similar but not the same to what we're doing, as well as groups up in Alaska doing similar work. When it comes to the land-marine interface and influence, the BCMCA project does include the shoreline. It includes estuaries. We don't explicitly include terrestrial values aside from those in the BCMCA.
Robin, I think you had a comment, then we want to go to another question.
One of the things that we did carry out is a little comparison between PNCIMA and another large ocean management area in one of those other oceans in Canada. This is the Eastern Scotian Shelf region, which I think there was a poster up. The scientific results from the Eastern Scotian Shelf region are pretty clear that fishing pressure, perhaps exacerbated by climate change variation, has caused a fundamental change in the structure of that ecosystem. Different species are occupying it. A lot more crab and shrimp, still no cod, and the ecosystem does not seem to be recovering from that. It seems to have moved to an alternate stable state. What we see from what we have, the data we have in PNCIMA, is that has not happened in PNCIMA.
Okay. Table 16 is next. And was there a question in this corner that we missed? I don't think so. So table 28 will be after that. Yes, 28.
Yeah, mine was once again more an observation than anything else, but I was glad to see that mention was made of the work done in Guayhanas, and there are quite a number of DFO officials here, and they could certainly learn a lot from the work that's been done in the Guayhanas management area, because it's really a step forward, and PNCIMA can use a lot of that as an example as well. But my concern again was, establish high conservation values within the PNCIMA footprint, and the definition of that. And someone has already spoken to that, so I can leave that one. But we can also, or don't only cite that within recognized areas of high conservation values, there's also, if conservation is done properly, room for commercial extraction from within those areas of high value. And I just don't want to lose sight of the fact that there is room for commercial extraction from those areas.
Okay, thanks. A comment on that?
I just wanted to make a comment that the project teams recently got some representation from some commercial fisheries folks, and one of the things they've asked, rightly so, is that we say what we mean by conservation, and because conservation can mean so many different things to so many different people, and so we've put that back to the project team is what is conservation from the point of view of the BCMCA, because it doesn't mean scientific no-take zones necessarily, and it means lots of different things to different people. So we need to define what that means from the BCMCA perspective.
And table 28 has a question, but no mic apparently. Hang on a second. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Kathy Heisey from Raincoast. This is a question for Robin. Robin, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about the type of research that DFO is doing on the issue of ocean acidification.
Ocean, sorry?
Acidification.
Acidification.
Changing pH of the ocean.
So the work that we're doing currently on ocean acidification takes two thrusts. One of which is the global modeling work. This is the Canada Earth System Model. DFO has staff working with Environment Canada at the Canada Centre for Climate Modeling and Analysis, looking at scenarios and futures for the global ocean. And it turns out, for reasons that have to do with how the global oceans circulate, the ocean acidification issue will come first to the North Pacific and the Northeast Pacific, where we are, before it comes to other places. So that's the kind of modeling thread. Then there's another thread which has been joint work with the Americans on looking at acidified water moving out of intermediate depths in the Northeast Pacific and onto the continental shelf where it really starts to matter. And last year before, had a very high-profile publication in the journal Science on that, and we plan to go back and do more of that survey work next summer with our U.S. colleagues.
And I think we can squeeze in one more question at table 20, whatever that is. 21? Thanks. If we can get a mic to them. Thank you.
Actually, this isn't a question. This is an opportunity for Dave to potentially comment on something. In our breakout sessions in both days and some of the other comments we've heard, I keep hearing this concept of building human capacity to actually do some of the work on EVM. And one of the things that wasn't mentioned by Dave in the BCMCA process is something that's been going on with BCMCA and PACMARA that is probably the next deliverable out of there. And could you maybe comment on the workshops and the potential next steps that will go out in terms of training on that?
In the 10 seconds I've got to respond to that, I'll just say that the BCMCA is working with many different partners. One partner we're working with is the Pacific Marine Analysis and Research Association to jointly host a workshop on the use of marksand for the BCMCA to explore a couple of different areas. And marksand is just another acronym or another tool. If people have questions on it, I'm available after. But we're looking at how to incorporate all the different human uses into a marksand analysis. We're looking at climate change in different analysis scenarios, as well as a third area. How do you do analysis when you don't have complete data sets, where you've got gaps in the data sets, or where you've got temporal variations? You've got herring that are spawning here one year and here another year. How do you work that into an analysis?
Great. Well, thank you. And thank you all five of you very much for that, particularly from people who had already received their gifts and could have made a run for it. We've now got a 20-minute break, not a 30-minute break, because what's going to happen at 10 to 4 is the PNCIMA Governance Working Group. I lose track of all the names, but they're going to reappear here. They're familiar faces. They've been off talking among themselves based on what they've heard for the last 2 days and what they already knew about next steps. And I know most of you are keen to hear that. I hope you'll stay for that and come closer to the front if you have the opportunity, because at 10 to 4 we'll do that. They'll probably talk for half an hour. I'm hoping you'll question for half an hour, or it might even become a dialogue. That would be quite an experience. 20-minute break? Great.